Hello, hello. Happy hump day to you. Happy hump day. How are you all doing on this Wednesday? Hmm? Let me make some adjustments here. How are you all doing? It has been, does it feel like Wednesday to you all? Does it? Sometimes I never know what today is, what the day is, no matter what day it is. But I do know one thing. It is day 18. Can you believe that? Day 18 of my life, of my 30-day challenge, my life challenge on my journey to co parenting. And I am just so happy that you have come along with me on this journey as I've hopefully inspired you and encouraged you and you listen to some of my business. But it's all to help you and to show you that you're not alone, and um, and even those who um, have a good relationship. I also want to share with you that it can be even better. You know, um, that you never have to settle for. Um, you can always improve. We can be content and thankful and grateful for where we are, but it's nothing wrong with wanting better, especially when our children are involved. So, if you don't know me, my name is Tiffany Newton. I'm a master certified health and life coach. And I've been in the mental health space for the past couple of years, and I've ventured over into the co parenting space. And I believe that's where God has had me to stay right now. And I'm still dealing in the mental health space, hence why my focus is emotionally healthy children, because there is a difference when our children are able to grow up healthy, and when they're not. So, and we are our children's first teachers, their first influencer, first example, everything, their first everything. So, the more healthy we are, the better our children are. So, I am here to help co parents establish and maintain healthy relationships with one another. I'm here to help them to raise healthy emotional children without experiencing long term communication issues. And you can do that by using my child first method. And we have been talking about the child first method over the last week or so. Last week we talked about communication, which we found out that is the cornerstone of the child first method. And also this week we've dug a little bit deeper into it, and we have established that the child first method is our vault. And we know that vaults, they um, house valuable things, valuable objects, whether it's our passports, jewelry, very important paperwork, stocks, bonds, things of that nature. We put those in vaults. So our vault, what is held so precious to us, is our child, our emotionally healthy child, as well as our healthy relationship with our co-parent. So um, I want to encourage you all, if you know of anyone that can benefit from this live, please feel free to share it out to them. And also, even if you have to just send it to them and they catch the replay, you know, do that as well. I would love for you to do that. So, my focus is going to always be thank you so much for joining. Thank you. My focus is always going to be the child. and what's best for them. So everything that we discuss is going to go back to that, and it will encompass that. So can we agree that that should be our focus? Good, good. Yes, our child should always be our focus. So the child first method is a comprehensive approach to co-parenting that emphasizes effective communication, collaboration, and prioritizing the well-being of our child. It stands for communication, which we talked about last week, which involves partnership and collaboration, honoring the other parent's role, which we talked about on Monday. And yesterday we also talked about, dealing with a difficult co-parent as well, and involvement with the child. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. The rest of the acronym for child, letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and determining everything to think about the child and what's in the best interest of the child together. So I'm really excited to dig into involvement today because we're going to talk about, how to get rid of your ex, or not get rid of your ex. You already got rid of it. But how to get your ex to spend time with their child. And uh, it's not as hard as you think it is, especially if they want to be there. I'll just put that out there. But three words before I start digging in, but three words I want you to remember is listen, share, and consider. Listen, share, and consider. So when we talk about, how to get your ex to spend time with their child, I mean, shoot, invite your ex to the live. Let them listen to this too. This will help them too. But of course, we have to talk about communication. You have to have open communication with your ex. Maintaining that regular communication with your co-parent, and discussing really important decisions. About your child's. Hey Ralph, how you doing? Thank you for joining. About your child's education, their health, extracurricular activities. Do those things together. Get them involved, and I'm sure that they will like that. The next thing I want you to consider is sharing some parenting time. Now, this is a little. This can be kind of different. Remember, this is a new way of co-parenting. We are renewing our mind. We're reprogramming the way we've done things. So thank you so much for joining. So I want you to consider, to aim to provide a balance. Balance. Hey Tony, how you doing? Thank you for joining. An equitable amount of parenting time to both parents. Now, that can look different for everybody. We know we have papers, and I've told you before, you don't necessarily have to go by those papers, but if you want to, that's between you and your ex. But just so rules are made for people who don't like to follow rules, and those papers are just rules. So I just put that out there. Anyway, so but shared time, it literally adds, um, it allows each parent to be actively involved in the child's daily life. And I will say that this has made a tremendous difference in the relationship I have with my boy's father. Because since he's involved with them more, he sees them more, he's able to know what's going on. And it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference when we talk about certain things, because he sees it already. you know, and even if he might not see something that I see, he at least he'll be in proximity to be able to do that because he will be around our boys. So consider that. And this is another one I want you to consider, okay? Remember, we're gonna share, listen, and consider. So attend events jointly, appoint important events. I'm not saying that, y'all have to ride in the same car together. Because I understand you might not like each other. But remember, they're still your child's parent, the other parent, okay? So consider attending events, and I would also say communicate. That's part of share. Communicate important events. Sometimes, especially when we're living in separate households, one parent might not know about something, but the other parent may. And even if you're on the same email, because I mean, we're both on same emails at the school, the teachers will communicate with both of us. But if I know there's something, because see, I know my ex, and I know that he will want to be there, but then I also know his strengths, and I also know his deficit. That goes back to superpowers. It's certain things that he brings to the table, and there's certain things that I bring to the table. And considering things that are very logistical and concise and organized, that's me. But I know he's not as good in that area, so he might miss certain emails and stuff. So I give him grace because I know he will want to be there. I know his child will want him to be there. So so whenever possible, you know, um, you could just send a text message. Hey, do you know so and so has this event at school? Do you know that they are um, being honored at school? They have a game, on this day. So, and I'm not talking about when you on your way. That ain't right. I'm not talking about when you're on your way there. You know, time. Hey, did you know? And then it'll be up to them whether or not they're there or not, you know. So special occasions, it's so important to be there as a team and just think about what it does to your child to see both of you in the audience. When they're receiving a award, think about how it might be for you or might have been for you when you were growing up, you know, whether you had both parents there or not. You know, how did it feel to you to be at a school program or being acknowledged somewhere, playing a game, or in sports or something? How did it feel to you to have both parents there? That's what you want to provide for your child, no matter if you're together with their other parent or not. The other thing I wanted to mention is being present. That's part of the listening and sharing. So be present and engage. Actively engage with your child when you have that time together. Be intentional. When we do not have our children with us every single day, it's important for us to not take that time for granted. You know, Even if you see your children every other weekend, cherish that time. Don't, yes, your mom, your dad might want to see them. That's fine, but go with them, but don't drop them off at your parents' house because that is your time to spend with your child. Be present and listen to their thoughts and feelings. Don't take things for granted just because you might be able to handle things a certain way. These kids are totally different nowadays, and it's so important for us to be there for them and to participate in activities that they enjoy. It's a lot of things that I don't really care for that I do every time my boys come. I mean, we have a routine of doing things that I don't really care for, but guess what? They do. And And it's so good, especially when you have more than one child. If it's a particular activity that they enjoy, themselves individually, do it with them. Have something to do with each child. It can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be a whole day, especially when you only have, or if you only have every other weekend with them. And it's even more important when you do have your child more than that, because you do have more time to be present, to participate in and plan activities, things that they enjoy, things that they like. And the last thing I want to say is encourage quality time and respect the parenting time that the other person has. When we I think I've shared this before, is I used to feel a certain kind of way when my boys would leave and go to their dads. And I know that my children, it's not a thing where they love him more than me or they love me more than him. It's just the fact that they just weren't here. So, but just like I said, we're thinking about the child, what's best for the child. And our children love, their mom. They love their dad. So it's important for us to encourage, don't make them feel bad about going over, their mom's house or their dad's house. Encourage them to spend time with their mom and dad. Encourage them to engage in activities. As the kids are older, and they have their own phones, encourage them to call them on their phone. I ask my boys now, hey, have you called your dad? You know, and it's just important for them to know that you support them and that they're free to love their parents, that they don't have to hide it from you and they don't have to feel bad about it. And then, just respect the time that's allocated to the other parent. Um, try not to interrupt or encroach on the other parent's time. And that goes back to just being punctual. If your child's supposed to be there at a certain time, especially when it's every other weekend, be there. If you're supposed to be there at 6, be there at 6. To pick up your child, you should be anxious. I don't know how many stories I've heard of kids looking out of the window, waiting for their parent to come. And it's because they love their parent. They want their parent to be there. So be there. Be there. And when you're on the other side and if the parent doesn't show up, you just love on the child. You don't have to say anything, especially if the child doesn't say anything. Just love on the child, and just be there. Okay. um I think that was of course I have so many other ones that I can share with you that I wrote down, but I think that's good. As you all know, if you don't know, I should say, I will be extending this series on tomorrow, and I will have a special guest with me, and I am so excited because he's a mediator and a family relationship strategist, and he's a great dad too. I've known him for quite some time, and he has a lot that he can offer perspectives from the mom and the dads, because he sees all of that on a regular basis. So I'm really excited about tomorrow, and for you to hear his input in regards to involvement with the child as we continue this, our combinations on the vault. So if you've got anything out of this live today, please put some butterflies in the comments. I love butterflies. If you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay with some butterflies. Anytime you comment to me, you got to include butterflies. Well, you don't have to, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice. And just a reminder too, if you don't follow me, I'm on Instagram at I am Tiffany D. Newton. I'm on Facebook at Tiffany D. Newton. And I have a Teach Me tribe or tribe. Thank you so much for the butterflies, Tony. I know you love butterflies too. Uh, so the Teach Me tribe, actually, the mixer is tonight, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be a wonderful time. But just check us out. It's a Facebook group called Teach Me Tribe. I would love for you to join us. It's a real environment with real people. We just talk real stuff. And it's a no judgment zone. It's a safe zone for us to just be ourselves, and I just love it. And you can also follow us on YouTube at Teach Me Tribe, and all the replays from my challenges there as well, and some of the previous things we've done in the Teach Me Tribe. So I thank you all for joining today, and I definitely look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Going to be at 5:30 tomorrow. Remember, I have Taekwondo with my son tomorrow, so I got to be there because I missed Tuesday. So I will be here tomorrow at 5:30 Central Standard Time, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.